we understand what it's about.
Every time I touch the ball, I'm thinking I'm going to score.
And this is our chance to write our part of the story.
The wheels, ball, nose, touchdowns!
Like he looks like he wants to take someone's head off.
Oh, picked up! Into the mix! Dante McClellan!
Hope you're well rested off the bye as the Tigers have to ramp up quickly against number 3 Texas A&M. Big week. Tigers' last life on the line. We're joined by the Missourian beat writers in Quentin Corpuel, Zack Sweet, Chase James as we get ready to break this down. Number 3 team in the country coming to Como. Quentin, what's your immediate reaction on this matchup?
Well, Texas A&M is not only one of the best teams in the country, they're one of the most complete teams in the country as well. Offensively, they have a trove of elite playmakers, both at running back and pass catcher, along with one of the best offensive lines in the sport. And then defensively, we'll talk about someone like Cassius Howell a little bit later, but they have playmakers at all 3 levels that have turned the Aggies into one of the best defenses in the country as well.
I mean, you just talked about how good Texas A&M is. With that comes an awesome opportunity for Missouri, a top 5 matchup, and a chance to start the last half of the season and potentially a college football playoff run if they can run the table and go 4-0. I know it's Matt Zollers at quarterback, but Missouri fans shouldn't give up on the season yet. All it takes is one win on Saturday to set the tone for the rest of the season and potentially start a college football playoff run.
This time, there's no question who they're prepping for. It's going to be Marcel Reed, and he's a lot better than I think he was last year, and he's got better weapons. It's just, like you said, it's a more complete team, and I think this is a really tough test for this Mizzou team with Zollers and coming off that loss to Vandy last week.
How do you think the Tigers used their bye week this past week?
To rest up. I know there are always a few knickknacks at this point in the season in terms of health, but it couldn't have come at a better time, I don't think. And they're going to really need it against an A&M team that, again, has a lot to deal with from an opposing team's perspective.
Yeah, excited to see what the injury report looks like, but Brett Norfleet was banged up last week. I think he could use that bye week, that week off, and he should be healthy, good to go. David Wilson also was someone who missed a couple snaps last week. Ahmad Hardy got banged up in the first half. Both returned to the game, but I think in general, everyone just needed this week to rest, recover, and get ready for this top 5 matchup.
Yeah, I think these 2 bye weeks have come at perfect times. You had the first one come before Alabama, and now before A&M after Zollers. You know, he's got another week to prepare and learn the playbook a little more and kind of grow chemistry with the receivers. So I think it was a perfect time and gives them a better shot than I think if it was last week.
The Tigers will need Zollers to perform because, like we mentioned, they're down to their last life. The Tigers have fallen twice already this season. Our advanced analytics here, just common knowledge. If the Tigers have one more loss, it's more than likely that their college football playoff hopes are eliminated on the season. Quinn, how significant is this game?
Well, this is huge because Zach touched on it a little bit earlier. You have a chance to pick up a signature win, which Mizzou did not pick up last year en route to a 9-3 season. If Mizzou loses this game, that opportunity for a signature win goes away because if they did beat Oklahoma, Oklahoma would have at least 3 losses. The value of that win wouldn't be as strong as beating someone like A&M who is on track for an SEC championship game appearance. You would also give yourself with that signature win something that not a lot of teams in the 11 to 25 range have right now, which is a win over a top 10 team. Do you guys know how many teams in that range have a win over a team currently in the AP top 10?
0?
It's actually one, and it's Miami, who beat Notre Dame a very long time ago.
You just wanted to get Miami.
I did not want to get Miami.
You just wanted to talk about Miami.
I did not want to get Miami in there. I actually don't want to talk about Miami because they just killed their season over the weekend with the loss to SMU against their old offensive coordinator. But that's a conversation for another day.
I mean, talk about killing a season. Missouri could kill their season this weekend. That's what it comes down to. This game is the season. If they lose, the season, it's over. We just had the graphic. If you're 6-3 sitting there, even if you win 3 in a row, you're not going to the college football playoff. It's not over, but it's over for going to the college football playoff and playing meaningful football. So this game means everything to Missouri, and I'm excited to see how they come out.
Yeah, unfortunately, I think if they lose this game, it's kind of the end of the road here. You look at the rest of the schedule, again, like Oklahoma is not really the signature win you're going to want, and none of the rest, like Mississippi State and Arkansas, aren't going to do it to get you in this college football playoff. we already know the SEC championship is off limits, but I think with this loss too, you're not making the playoffs. You're just playing in a regular bowl game.
Do you think there's any scenario where the Tigers drop this game but make the college football playoff? Is that even a possibility?
I don't personally see it. I just, especially when you look at Georgia, Alabama, A&M, even if they lose this game, they can still kind of get back in there. I think there's too many teams above Mizzou right now for a 3-win Missouri team to make it in.
This would have to be 2007 craziness times 5, which is a lot to ask because 2007 is widely known as the season where chaos totally consumed college football, especially at the top. They would need teams at the top to fall even more than they did in 2007, which I'm not sure is going to happen.
So even that the Tigers lost to, at the time, 2 top 10 teams by a total of 10 points, that does not matter at all.
Quality losses can only get you so far. At some point, you got to have quality wins to
You
make
need a
up for it.
signature win. Missouri doesn't have it simply, especially if they lose to A&M this weekend.
Well, Drink will be looking for his signature win. Here's what he has to say about the Aggies.
Yeah, I think that's the challenge is they do a lot of different things well, and whether it's their punt return game is really good, their kickoff return game is really good, their vertical pass game is really good. They're able to claw you out running the football defensively. They're able to stop the run, force one-on-one matchups, make you execute for 4 quarters. It's a really well-built SEC football team, and it reminds you of going against the big-time teams in the past, like what Georgia and Alabama and those kind of games have been, where you knew that any one mistake could lead to a break in the dam, and that it was going to be a 60 minutes where every inch was earned. And that's why I'm so complimentary of how quickly he's been able to build that kind of team and roster.
Just heard from Drink. The Aggies have been impressive this year, and if we're going to grade them, it's been all A's across the board for the Aggies. Welcome back to Study Hall, everybody. Today's class, College Football 101, the grade 100% for Mike Elko and his Aggies. They have won every single matchup this year, 8-0 overall, 5-0 in conference. They have been fantastic offensively, averaging nearly 40 points a game, 2 ranked wins over LSU and Notre Dame. Those grades have earned them the 3rd best ranking in the entire country. Q, what makes the Aggies just so special?
Well, they have a combination of dominating lesser teams, although they've had some close calls against lesser SEC teams. But as you said, they have some really good wins. That win in South Bend was huge, and they handed LSU a $54 million loss in Baton Rouge. They actually also, in the process of doing so, they scored 49 points. It was a blowout. That just doesn't really happen in Tiger Stadium. I believe they're only the 5th team to ever score at least 49 points against LSU as the road team, which is pretty cool company to be in, especially considering the last time it happened was Alabama in 2020, which is one of the better teams in recent years.
Yeah, while that win was great, and while that Notre Dame win was special, that Notre Dame win was controversial, but we can get into that another time. What makes Texas A&M so good is Marcel Reed. His dual threat ability. He's really, really good at using his legs and also finding his star receivers. He's got 2 of them in Casey Concepcion and Mario Carver. They each have 40 and 36 receptions, respectively, for 716 and 545 yards, respectively. Combined 11 touchdowns between the 2 of them. He gets them the ball, and they are a mismatch for any secondary. And we've seen the miscommunications in Missouri's secondary. That's something that we are going to have to watch. Can Missouri's front get pressure on Marcel Reed and force him to make some bad decisions and not let him complete passes to Concepcion and Carver all day?
Yeah, like I mentioned earlier, last year I think A&M struggles with offense, and Marcel Reed was just the receivers they had. They got guys now that can make plays, and probably better than about anyone. I think this is going to be one of the toughest offenses, if not the toughest Missouri plays. They're high octane. They're going to be tough to stop. You really have to stop them, I think, in the red zone. They've scored 30 of 32 times in the red zone. If you want any chance to stop this offense, you have got to perform in the red zone.
So you said the numbers, but they're ranked the number 3 team in the country. Do you think that's true? Are the Aggies actually the 3rd best team in the nation?
Yeah, they're definitely at the very least top 5. You can argue, I think, them being number 2 ahead of Indiana, although I totally understand the Hoosiers being number 2 behind Ohio State. But, I mean, they're undefeated. They're in a power conference. They were thought of relatively highly before the season. I believe they were ranked number 19 in the AP poll, so that helped them sort of erase this stigma against unranked teams, then jumping in and then going super far back if they lose. The good thing about Texas A&M, they haven't had to worry about that because they haven't lost yet. And again, they also have really good wins too. And I'll top this off with this. They don't really have any weaknesses. Like, I can't really find on either side of the ball a true area where they can be exploited. Their run defense has been questionable at times, and their special teams, especially their kicking, has been fairly inconsistent. But in terms of major offensive and defensive facets of the game, I can't really find them.
Yeah, I think their kicker's 14 of 19, if you want to point out a weakness. But that's really getting picky because those are all 40-plus yards too. So that just says Texas A&M is a really complete team.
And they'll need Matt Zollers to keep pace. Again, the 19-year-old quarterback now starting for the Tigers. Here's what Coach had to say on the Tigers' new QB.
You know, for our team, it's really about us focusing on helping Matt execute at the highest level possible. We're excited about Matt's opportunity and what he's earned. You know, he has done a really good job in practice of leadership, stepping up, embracing the moment, embracing the opportunity. You know, there was a time in the early part of the season where Bo was a little bit beat up and Matt was getting extra reps with the ones, and those are going to pay off now for us. So that's been a real positive. We really were adamant throughout spring, throughout the summer, and even in fall camp to really focus on 3 spots to make sure that Matt was getting developed because we knew he was the future of the program at the quarterback position, but the future is now. I think it's important for us not to put too high of expectations on Matt. He does not have to win this game by himself. He's got a really good core of players around him. We just have to play complementary football in all 3 phases.
Zollers played great against Vandy in the quarter and a half that he saw time. But are we going to see the same Zollers? Should we expect the same results from Matt Zollers going up at home against Texas A&M?
I think we should expect a similar kind of game. He had flashes of greatness against Vanderbilt. He also had some instances where he just had to throw the ball away or had to prevent a loss of yardage versus trying to gain something positively. Texas A&M has one of the most dangerous front sevens in the entirety of college football. They sack quarterbacks pretty frequently. They are in the backfield often. They're one of the best teams in the country at generating tackles for loss. I mentioned Cassius Howell earlier. He leads the SEC with 9.5 sacks. This is going to be a tall task for Missouri's offensive line, and I'll be really curious to see how Zollers handles it because he was able to generate he was able to extend certain plays with his legs, which is what someone like Taylor Green did effectively when Texas A&M did get home on the pass rush.
Yeah, I'll start by saying that both teams will have extra time to prepare for this. Both teams are coming off bye weeks. Matt Zollers was thrust into the spotlight in the third quarter, had no time to prepare for that. And he looked poised out there. He looked really poised. He looked calm in the pocket. He took his time making decisions. He didn't just take what the first read was. He would go through his progressions, and if it wasn't there, he'd make sure to get the ball away as well. And I'd expect to see a lot more of that too. I think Missouri the playbook might look a little different now with Matt Zollers back there, who has a cannon for an arm, something that Bo Pribula didn't have. And I wouldn't be shocked to see Missouri try and exploit that and use that as a weapon down the field, try and get Kevin Coleman involved, try and get Marquise Johnson even on a deep ball. We haven't seen one of those in a couple weeks. I wouldn't be shocked to see one of those early against Texas A&M, get the defense off balance. But Matt Zollers, I'm expecting to see similar results to what we saw against Vanderbilt.
Yeah, I do think, it is tough with your first start in college to have to go against this A&M defense in arguably the biggest game of the year. But I do have some confidence in him. I mean, he looked good against Vanderbilt and much better than I think you would expect a true freshman to perform. So you really have to be able to move the ball early, and I think you're going to rely on Hardy a little more this game, especially if you can get to the red zone. I think if you feed it to Hardy down there, with A&M's rushing defense being a little iffy at times, I think you can manage that and have Hardy get some touchdowns.
Quickly, is there a single name that you've seen quick chemistry build between Zollers and this player on the field?
Well, Jude James last game looked really good with him. I do expect if Norfleet's healthy and good to go, I mean, he's going to get involved a lot. But I think we're going to see Jude James definitely get involved more. And I think Alubide, as another freshman, I think has to get involved more. Last week, I thought he'd get involved a little more than he did. This time, make it happen.
Well, we've also seen Texas A&M and Missouri match up a couple times across history, dating back to the 50s. Let's take a look at their history. All right, welcome back. Big game, a lot of questions. That's why we have these guys to provide us the answers. It's fill in the blank. We'll start with you, Quentin. Your first question, in order to win this game in upset fashion, the Tigers are A&M is favored by 7 points. Missouri will have to do blank.
Contain Texas A&M's playmakers on offense. We talked about KC Concepcion and Mario Craver earlier. They are big play monsters, and they were exactly that at their previous destinations, with Craver being at Mississippi State, Concepcion being at NC State. They tear secondaries apart, both deep down the field and at the line of scrimmage running after the catch. Mizzou has, although they have been a lot better at defending the pass in recent weeks, they have struggled giving up big plays many times this season, so I'll be very curious to see how they handle, I think, one of the better dynamic receiving duos in college football.
Z, for you, Matt Zollers shows us blank in this game.
He shows us the poise that we saw against Vanderbilt. We just talked about it, but he shows us he can compete with one of the best defenses in the country, despite having Cassius Howell in his face. I think Zollers is going to make some plays down the field, and I think he's going to impress us.
For you, Chase, the defense will have to do blank to give Missouri a shot.
I think it comes back down to stopping them in the red zone. I mean, the way to do that is you're going to have to get pressure on Reed, but also, guys like Craver and Concepcion. Craver's usually the one that gets you to the red zone, while Concepcion's the guy they go to in the end zone. You got to make sure that can't happen, and you can't let Reed start to move out of the pocket and scramble and get in the end zone either. So there's a lot to stop in the red zone every time.
Yeah, Missouri's done a really good job of containing mobile quarterbacks this year, though. We've seen it time and time again. Even against Diego Pavia in their last matchup, Missouri did an excellent job of not letting Pavia beat them.
Yeah, it's really impressive when you also consider, at least from a Texas A&M standpoint, Reed has been one of the least sacked quarterbacks in college football. Mizzou struggled to get home against Vanderbilt last week, although Damon Wilson was able to generate, I believe, 5 pressures according to PFF. I'll be curious to see how they bounce back this week.
All right, guys, fill in this blank for me. Our former Missouri Tiger, who breaks down plays by plays and breaks down the analytics, is?
That would have to be Tyson Ellison.
Tyson Ellison in?
Sideline Study Hall.
Take it.
There was no change in the top 7 of the AP poll this weekend, which means Texas A&M is still the number 3 team in the country coming off a bye week. Now, this team is so complete. There's talent at every position, but there's really 3 reasons why Texas A&M is in the top 3. We're going to talk about them here. Starting off with any team, you have to have success at the quarterback position to have a successful season. So reason number 1 is right behind the number 1. That's the quarterback, Marcel Reed. Now watch him drop back in the pocket here. In order to have success, you got to keep number 10 in this box. When he escapes, only bad things happen. In this football game, had a long touchdown run, also escapes here on 1st and 10, gets the yards with his legs, makes a man miss. He's really shifty, able to get that first down by himself. Luckily, we're at that point of the season where teams start putting resumes together and you can see how they stack up against different schemes. The Missouri Tigers have been great all season against rushing quarterbacks and keeping them contained and keeping them in the box. You see that from all 4 of these games and in their last game against Vanderbilt as well. Mizzou's been able to stop the mobile quarterback. So once Marcel Reed is in the pocket, he's a gunslinger. LSU had the bright idea of keeping their defensive line back, making sure he stays in the pocket here on the goal line. That ends up paying dividends right away with an interception here on 3rd and goal when LSU had to have a big play. Texas A&M still ended up winning this game because when Marcel Reed gets that ball down the field, that's reason number 2. All these skill position players are incredible with the football in their hands and great at catching the ball. Right here, that's number 3 with the catch down the sideline, one-handed grab. Shifty gets the extra yards before he's pushed out of bounds. Texas A&M is aware of the playmakers that they have, which is why they ran the screen concept against LSU over and over again. What is the screen? You're going to see the offensive line here all move to the right after the snap, so when the ball is caught, there's a force field of offensive line. Look in the circle, not a single LSU player. Blockers getting color backwards, blockers ahead of the ball carrier. So now it's just a straight shot up the field. Get what you can get. A pancake block right there ahead of Craver. Another example here, this time it's the running back coming out of the backfield. You'll see Morrow here has, once again, a force field of offensive linemen in front of him. He can do whatever he wants with the football here. Not a single perimeter player is going to contend one-on-one with an offensive lineman. Touchdown there on a screen pass. Reason number 3, this is going to be a big point of emphasis for the Missouri Tigers as they practice this week. This defensive end is scary right here. You see Cassius Howell. It was Halloween last week. This is a ghost rush here coming off the perimeter. One-on-one with the offensive tackle. Doesn't even get hands-on. Just no contact wins the rep. Mizzou cannot allow this to happen. Happened against the last Cat team. Texas A&M played deep sacks down the field, destroying drives, getting them off schedule. Mizzou cannot allow their freshman quarterback to get trampled and danced on in the backfield during this game. So Matt Zollers is going to get his first start at Faurot Field as a Missouri Tiger. He's got the college football playoff in front of him, but you see his face here. He understands it is very desperate times. It is win or go somewhere besides the playoffs at this point in the season. Can Mizzou get it done against the top 3 Texas A&M? We'll find out this weekend. Jacob, back to you.
Thanks, Tyson. We haven't been getting it done here in Sideline Study Hall all year long. You could have your piece, Zach. I know you got yours.
You
right.
haven't been getting it done.
I haven't been getting
Speak
it
for
done.
yourself.
Okay, I will take accountability on my actions, all right? You know, I stand for my failures, but your failures too. 'Cause you were born in Chicago, but you were raised a Brewers fan. That's
talking about
horrible.
other
That's
sports
another
now.
time. Anyways, terrible. Atrocities. The 3 of us got our picks wrong. Zach was safe this week. Let's roll the tape.
Let's roll. Cuts. Get the goal cuts.
We've got some chilies, we've got some jalapenos, but the one thing that Tyson doesn't realize is he thinks this is a punishment for me. This is nothing. So to make it slightly a punishment, I'm gonna make this a little spicier for my dinner here. We're just gonna add a little hot sauce on these peppers right here. Oh man, I cannot wait. This is delicious.
Yeah!
Just delicious.
I think I just need to believe in myself more. I did that. I accomplished that. And that feels really good.
Quentin, you're still looking a little sweaty there.
Oh, that's very nice of you to say. Thank you, Jacob. But I will say, what I lost in sweat, I gained appreciation for it for at least mid-distance and long-distance runners. I may look like one, but I have nowhere near the capability to do anything close to a mid or a long-distance run.
Both you and Tyson are looking thinner, which is good. Chase, where were you in the punishment video?
Yeah, man, I hate to break it to you, but hands-free, it's not for me.
That's not fair.
It's for you.
But that's not fair. Why would your punishment, your failure to be right, affect me?
Look, I didn't make it. You have to ask Tyson about it. But hands-free means that you have to sit on your hands during this segment. You have to direct this sitting.
I don't think Jacob's capable of doing this, honestly.
You can't-
I don't
you
think
can't-
Jacob
you
is
can't do
capable
all
of
that.
I think this is cruel and unusual punishment to Jacob.
This is unusual punishment. I don't know if it's that cruel.
It's pretty
I think
cruel.
I think this is kind of funny. I think this is really funny.
I think it's
actually.
cruel. Look at him. Look, he looks like a lost puppy right now.
He looks
He
like a
doesn't know what to
penguin.
do with himself.
Looks like a penguin. It's
It's
hilarious.
like, do my hands go?
I'm having a great time.
Your
Doesn't mean you
prediction.
can't
your
talk.
prediction.
Oh, and now he wants to move
You
on.
know
and
how
deflect.
you get an Italian to shut up? You
Oh,
put his
no,
hand
no,
like
Okay, fine. We can move on. Well, Texas A&M,
This is horrible.
as we discussed previously, shoddy against the run in certain games. Robert Henry of UTSA, who we've actually mentioned on the show before, had a big game against Texas A&M in Week 1, had 177 rushing yards. Notre Dame hit some explosives on the ground. Arkansas hit some explosives on the ground. I think Ahmad Hardy is going to find the end zone at least once on Saturday.
Pretty solid prediction.
Jacob wishes he could react with his hands, but he can't. And this is really a good time.
Another offensive playmaker who I think is going to get involved. True freshman connection. Donovan Olubade is going to get involved with Matt Zollers, the freshman to freshman connection. I'm going to go Olubade either has 5 catches or he catches a touchdown in this game. He has 1 touchdown on the year. His high in receptions this year is 5 receptions against Auburn. I think he's going to either have 5 or the touchdown this week.
I got a fun one, for me at least. We talked about how Texas A&M struggles with field goals, and Mizzou has also struggled with field goals this season. So I think at least one of these teams is going to miss a field goal in this game. Jacob.
This is going to the Tiger Kickoff Show courts because this is a violation of my take it to the grave rights. What I have is, as much as I love him and as much as he's played extremely well so far, I got Matt Zollers turning over the football at least once in this matchup as we get into a tough Texas A&M defense and a tough situation for me, literally with my hands tied behind my back. Yeah.
Hopefully Zollers doesn't have his hands tied this weekend.
Hopefully not. That's Take It to the Grave. Let's take a look at our upcoming matchups. Those are the matchups for the upcoming week, but it's the big one everyone is thinking about, Missouri, Texas A&M. Can the Tigers get that signature win? Will they, Quentin?
No, I don't think they will. I think Texas A&M is too much on both sides of the ball. I think we're going to see, like we saw last week, flashes of high-level quarterbacking from Matt Zollers. I think this defense is going to make a few plays and fluster the Aggies offensively on at least a few occasions, but I simply think the Aggies have too much going for them on both sides of the ball. Give me A&M 31-21.
Texas A&M is a really, really good football team. Probably the best football team Missouri has played this year. However, this is a weird spot for Texas A&M. Coming on the road, 8-0, ton of expectations. You got only 4 games left in the season. You really just have to go 2-2 to make the college football playoff. I don't think they're going to give Missouri the respect that Missouri deserves, especially given it's on its 3rd quarterback, given it's a true freshman. That true freshman is Matt Zollers, though. I'm expecting Matt Zollers to come in here and make a couple plays that are going to leave Missouri fans and Texas A&M fans, frankly, and college football fans, frankly, a little like Missouri's got something here. And I got Missouri coming away with a 28-27 win, upset. Nobody thinks they're going to do it. I think Missouri's going to come away with this one.
I think there's a world where it happens, but before the season there was 2 games where I figured I would probably end up picking against Missouri. It was Alabama, and now it's A&M. I just think with the position that Mizzou is in right now and how good A&M has been this season, I'm just not really seeing a way this is going to happen right now. I think Mizzou can make it close, but I'm going to have it 31-17 A&M.
I got the Tigers falling as well, 34-24 at home. That does it for us at the Tiger Kickoff Show. We thank you for watching. Thanks again to our beat writers, Quentin Corpuel, Zack Sweet, Chase James. You can catch us on socials at Tiger Kickoff Show. We'll catch you next time.
M-I-Z-Z-O